Hello, this is Sonja from My Happy Space. Welcome back at my channel. I hope you're all well. I'm going to do today a Bible entry, a prayer or a hope I've got for my son. A while ago, I did an entry for my daughter. I will link the video in the description box if you're interested to go and check that out. My daughter's name is Lydia, and I just sort of documented there where Lydia is mentioned in Acts. And now I'm going to do an entry about my son. His name is Daniel. And surprise, surprise, we're going to document in Daniel. And yeah, I will later read the verse. We're going to talk about Daniel. And I've got this beautiful Roetz Printables. I will link definitely her website down in the description box. So please check her out. She's a local South African, or local to me anyway. And I love to support people like her, and she's super talented. And yeah, so I love the colors. And so I don't know what I'm going to do yet. What I'm thinking definitely I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this out and pop my photo on there, or put my photo on top of it. I'm going to see how I'm going to work it out. And I've got this it's a beautiful background. I don't know yet if I'm going to use this. I'll see. I've printed a few photos of my son out, just to see which one will fit in there. I'm anyway going to do a memory book of him, so I thought I might as well just print a few photos out and use it. So yeah, so let me put you on fast forward and let's see how things will go. I've decided my main 3 photos I'm going to choose from. I probably will make my final this season, or made my final season after I cut the inside of the reef. So I'm just taking this sharp little craft knife, and I'm just loosely cutting it just to get the inside out, and sort of tearing it along and then cut again. I'm just using this brown foam mat just to protect obviously my surface. I've got one of these green craft mats, but it's so big I didn't bother to get it out. I must actually get myself a small one. That inside wording, I'm preserving it because at this stage I still would want to use it, but then later I decided against it. I couldn't find space on it. So yeah, after a long and tedious fussy cutting, I've got my reef, and I decided on this photo my son's got a blue t-shirt on, and I thought it looks nice. It brought the blue of the flowers and the reef out, and it goes nicely together. I've also decided to make a background of these gelatos. I'm just dipping it in the wet wipes, and yeah, I'm just making a nice background. Sometimes I just prefer a background than a white piece, or the white of the Bible. I'm just going to read you the passage I'm going to document with. It's in Daniel 6 verse 4. It says, "Then the other administrators and high officers began searching for some fault in the way Daniel was handling government affairs, but they could not find anything to criticize or condemn him. He was faithful, always responsible, and completely trustworthy." So they concluded, our only chance of finding grounds of accusing Daniel will be connecting with the rules of his religion. So yeah, that is just the 3 elements that really stood out to me. That is my prayer for my son. That people will not be able to find fault with him, that the only thing they can accuse him of is the fact that he follow God and that he is a Christian. And then I also like in the beginning of Daniel, I think Daniel 1 verse 8, it says that he made a decision not to defile himself. When he was taken to Babylon during captivity, he made that decision beforehand. He didn't make the decision on the spot when it was presented with him to eat the food that was not dedicated to God. He made that decision beforehand. He's not going to defile himself. Just quickly get back to the artwork. Yeah, I decided to cut through the reef because I just couldn't work it out how I'm going to put the reef down, but it was a big mistake because it just didn't have an impact after that. I just thought it looked very bland. So later I just patched the reef back together, and I just used the reef. I'm just cutting these little tabs out. I'm using the same colors, sort of in the devotion, the red and the pink, or not the pink, the red and the orange and the blues. So I'm going to use that to put the 3 elements that stood out for me in Daniel, which was, it says, was faithful, always responsible, and completely trustworthy. And that is my prayer for my son. And I think it will be a wonderful prayer. Faithful to God, faithful to his family, faithful to his promises, always responsible. I mean, mums with boys know that that's a big problem, being responsible and taking that responsibility of manhood on, and completely trustworthy. I think that is such three wonderful elements we can pray for our kids. And it is ironic that is probably the three elements we struggle with at the most the moment in his life. And but I trust and I believe God that if I pray these things over his life, it will come to fulfillment, because it is part of God's will. He wants him to be faithful. He wants him to be responsible and completely trustworthy. So yeah, I just encourage you guys to pray for your kids. Let me know if you have any prayers that you specifically pray for your children, or any, this was one of the reasons why I named my son Daniel, because I just love Daniel, this character from the Bible. I've done a sort of in-depth Bible study about Daniel, the book of Daniel, and yeah, I was so impressed with him and the promises God said to him at the end, that he will shine like a star, and he was faithful and he will be rewarded for his faithfulness. Yeah, so I'm just writing these things on this little tags: faithful, always responsible, or I'm just actually responsible, and completely trustworthy. So that's the three things that stood out for me about this passage, which I want to remember, and this is a prayer for my son. So I'm putting obviously the holes in it, and I'm going to put a little thread through it later. So I've patched the reef together. I've just put some sellotape at the back, and I've decided not to commit to it. I've decided to put some double-sided tape on the one side of the reef, just to be able to have almost a tip in or a flip over, so I can still read the passage, and you can lift up the reef obviously to read the passage. So I'm just working out exactly where I need to put the double-sided tape, and just putting that down. I'm so pleased at the end I didn't sort of not use the reef, because I really think it makes a nice impact. Now I'm just tucking the photo behind it. I'm also using double-sided tape. I've just printed it on a piece of paper previously, which I've printed another devotion on. So yeah, I've just tucked that nicely in, so that can also be lifted up and you can still see the words of the Bible. And now I'm just taking a little elastic, small little elastic, which I took off from another tab. And I just try to thread that through, and I'm just obviously trying to open it so you can see all three of the words which stood out for me at this passage. I'm just taking some washi tape, and I'm just securing it on there, because obviously that I would like that to be secure on the page. Yeah, I really like this layout. I'm so glad I did it. As I said, check out my daughter's video I've done for her also, and I would encourage you to do it. Get the printable and do one for your child. If you haven't thought of a Bible verse which you want to pray over her life or his life, find a Bible verse which really speaks to you and what the Lord puts on your heart, and just pray this regularly over your child's life. And ask the Lord to bring that forth in their life. And yeah, I just would really encourage you to do that. At the end, I just put those a little strip of the washi tape, and I put the tab there at the top, and I wrote down Daniel. And yeah, I love how it turns out. If you like it, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and you can see some more of these type of videos. And I hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.